my god, it was so dirty. Oh man.
We had finally made it to my hometown, our first stop on our route through the Southwest. But we still had a few things left to do before heading deeper into the desert.
Lots of Alaska dirt is still caked to the trailer. It's pretty much the only reason why I'm washing it.
We left Northern California a few days earlier and made the full day's trek down south.
Hey Margie!
The ride went smoothly, and the extreme amount of rain that California got this winter was evident by just how lush the 5 freeway was. I don't think either of us had ever seen it like this before. Once we arrived, we wasted no time and began finishing up the last of the repairs on Dusty.
The renovation continues. This part of the subfloor that is under our bed got a little bit water damaged in Alaska. My original plan was to take out and replace this whole piece of subfloor in the back, but it's so much work, as I learned from the front subfloor piece that I did. I'm gonna see if I can repair it with this like boat epoxy stuff. So here it is. It's a 2-part solution. It's a deep penetrating epoxy. So basically, to my understanding, it's just gonna go in the wood and turn the wood into plastic. But let's see if this works, because I don't want to replace this whole dang back piece of floor. One thing I do still need to do though is I'm gonna drill a couple of small little holes throughout the area just to help the epoxy penetrate even deeper. There already were these large holes when we got the trailer. Not sure why. Emma, my little sister, I'm wearing all of your clothes while I'm here in the desert. Sorry. Okay, so I have this container and I marked out every 4 ounces on the side. I'll do 4 ounces of the hardener and then 8 ounces of the epoxy. Because it's a 2-to-1 ratio, right? Safety first. The rest of the way, my measurements are so precise. And now I stir for 2 minutes. Alright, let's start turning this wood into plastic. Not bad, I suppose.
Going to a client's house, gonna help them install a sound bar.
Look at you.
Safety first.
Bye.
Bye, Angel, I love you.
Love me too. Technical on wheels. Day 2 now of fixing the back floor in the Scamp. Let me show you how it's looking so far. So I would just like to make it more even and to really weatherproof it back here. So I don't want to have to deal with this again.
Are you guys best friends? I think you are. Or maybe enemies. Kind of hard to tell.
Oh, that's best friends. After a few days of curing, honestly, it looks pretty good. I made the choice that I'm not going to paint over this because I want to be able to keep an eye on it and monitor it.
After finishing up the back subfloor repair, we set out that evening for our next location. to spend some more time with family, including my older brother, who's also a full-time traveler. We awoke the next day to a windy morning. Marge seemed really curious about exploring this new area, so we went on a walk together to get a lay of the land. It was extremely windy, but we both enjoyed our walk. We even saw a rainbow and watched it together for a while. After our walk, we decided to explore one of the oases I grew up visiting. An oasis is an area in the desert where a crack in the Earth's crust created by a fault allows water to reach the surface, creating an environment where many forms of life thrive. Oases are an important part of Cahuilla culture, the people indigenous to this area. They host an array of native species, including the desert fan palm, Washingtonia foliifera, Western North America's only native palm species. The Cahuilla use parts of the fan palm for sustenance and raw material for creating different everyday objects. Their creation story for these palms says that the first Cahuilla man stood in one of the springs in his old age, in order to turn himself into something that would provide lasting value for the people he would soon leave behind, transforming himself into the first desert fan palm. The Cahuilla manage these palm groves with fire to clear out palm-boring beetles and allow sun to reach the ground so new palms can sprout. Now more than ever, there's a need to look towards indigenous knowledge when managing land, as they are the original stewards of the land and know how best to care for it.
I have moved everything off the bench and over onto the bed so that I can do some repairs. I got this area cleared so that I can start putting in the new walling. But first I'm going to make some tea. Wow, it is so windy out there. Probably go inside the house so that you're not around the fumes. Because I'm going to start using the contact cement. I don't really want you around that. Okay? It's been such a long time since I've used this contact cement stuff, but I used it a bunch when I was putting in the walling originally in the trailer. I used like big buckets of it though, not the spray. But since I'm doing just like a small little area, I figured that this will be good. Oh man, did not think I would be breaking this out again. Oh, last time, hopefully. Hopefully this is the last time. Give this a try. Feel. Oh. Up here I'm gonna kind of trim it to be more how it needs to be. And then I'll add some tape.
At this point, I was ready to add the next layer of walling, but unfortunately I wasn't able to find it, so I had to move on to the next part of my project.
So this is my piece of trim. It's kind of hard to navigate it in this tight space. Unfinished, so I think I might paint it like either a fun color or maybe just go get some white paint. I'm not sure. But it would be nice to use up some paint that I already have. So I never fully finished this door for Marge. I had to replace the door. But I never did much to it other than sand it. So I'm thinking of maybe just painting it. So maybe the trim, which is going to run like along here on that side,
And on that side, I'm gonna have to paint it too. So maybe I'll paint them the same color, or maybe I'll do 2 different colors. We'll have to see. But that's what I'm gonna work on now. 13 inches on that side. 22 and a half. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have so much trim left over. Maybe I should redo the trim right here. Always giving myself more work. Always. My trim pieces cut, I'm going to screw them into place. So, got these finishing screws, and I'm going to do some pilot holes first, just to make sure. This is really thin, so I'm afraid that I'll split it, but if I do, I have extra. And if I use up this wood, then I won't have the urge to now trim out new places in the trailer, so I guess that wouldn't be the worst thing. Now I just gotta do the next side. Gotta clean this.
It's starting to look really good in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I can't find the stupid cork. I'm so upset.
It blew away in the wind.
Maybe, or maybe I left it at my parents' storage unit.
I like that the trim has little leaves on it. That's so cute.
Honestly, like, I only picked that trim because it's literally the only one that had the proper width. But it's cute, right?
No, it's really
so
cute.
It's all good.
And what color were you thinking of painting?
That's what I wanted to ask you. So I have 2 paints that I could use without having to buy paint. One is the color of the door, the yellow, and then I also have some paint left over from when we redid the wood stove color recently.
Okay. Make the trim the firebox.
Yeah.
The wood stove. And then you can use the yellow for the door.
I was kind of thinking that, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll look good.
Okay. Cool.
I like that. It looks starting to look good in here.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Yeah, of course.
Got all the trim in and painted. And I just plugged up all of the little holes, so I'm going to repaint over with a coat of that. This trim is in 2. Plugged up some holes here as well, so I'll do another layer of paint on that later. And now I'm going to go ahead and put in my second layer of walling. I did find it. Last night I went and found it. Now what I'm going to do is fill all the seams and then also seal around the window. And then once it's dry, I will paint it. And you know, ideally it wouldn't be this patched together in this many little pieces, but given the small quantity of walling I had left, this was the best I could do. Caulked. So I used the caulk to fill any gap between it, and then the spackle just kind of smooths over the whole thing. So, time to spackle now. Ooh, spackle complete. Now I'll let it dry for a few hours, and then I'm gonna hit it with some sandpaper before painting. The sun just set. It was gorgeous. Really beautiful pink sky. So it got late and I had to stop after I spackled to let it dry. It seems dry, so I'm going to sand it now. And then I really want to paint tonight because I'm determined for this to not take a whole nother day. All done.
Hi friends, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you so much for watching and bearing with us throughout this Scamp repair process. The full reveal of our new and improved trailer will be coming soon in a Scamp tour video. But for now, we're back on the road and really excited to start bringing you more travel content soon.